our source, our creator. Remember who you are. Remember where you came from. Remember who you came from. We are never, ever separate from that power, that energy, that love, that creation. Always connected. Even when we forget, it's still there. 11:31 a.m. We are totally and completely loved. We are totally and completely safe. We are protected. We are held. And sometimes we just need to remind ourselves by saying that to ourselves in the positive I am. I am deeply loved. So say some of those to yourselves now. I am loved. I am held. I am safe. Whatever you need to bring yourself comfort. Because these times now, they're uncomfortable. But as spiritual seekers, we have access to the truth of our own being in this universe. And coming together in churches like this and gatherings all over the world, we do remember. We are remembering. I am loved, and I am love. And all is well. Thank you. Thank you to each of you, and thank you to our Creator for always giving us what we need. And what we need now is each other. And remembering, like I said, who we are, where we came from, and who we came from. Thank you, God. So come on back. Okay, Fred?
So there was a famous guru, and he would preach to his followers. He would sit up on the stage, sitting in a lotus position. He had his favorite cat, which he would bring to everywhere he went, and for a while it was okay. But then when he got sitting in the lotus position, the cat would crawl up on him and bother him, and he finally said, hey, told his assistant, tie the cat up over there, will you, so it won't bother me. So this went on for a while. His fame grew, and every time he was up there, he had his cat over there till he was done, and then he let it go. Well, he died, and his followers wanted to continue the theology that he was preaching, and so they would all gather together, and they would always tie a cat to the stage. And this went on for quite a while until the cat that he had died. They had it stuffed. And people would come from miles around to come and touch the cat, to to get the vibe, you know. And then, but they had to replace the cat. So they had a cat that they would tie up at every service. And everybody thought that this was all part of theology, and there were papers written by some of the adherents about the theology behind having a cat on the stage, and the significance of it, and why it was important, and why everybody should appreciate why they did that. And so that was fine for a while until there was a division between the followers. Some of the followers thought the cat should be orange because that was the cat that he had. Others felt like it was just a generic cat, so it didn't matter. And there was fierce discussion about this until the orange cat people, who were the Orthodox in their view, versus the Reformed people who said it could be any cat, had their own church. So now there was two churches. And they all were not happy with each other, and they would shun each other, and they would not like each other. And the Reformed Church then had some people who decided, you know, it doesn't have to be a cat. It could be a dog. So the dog people wanted a dog up there. Well, the cat people felt like that was a sacrilege, and they just can't have that. And so the dog people started their own church. And ultimately, all of the churches continued to have variations of the theme: cat, dog, orange, any color, and it went on, and it generated division between people, and it generated hatred between people, and ultimately there were wars fought over this. So this was a misinterpretation, obviously, of what the guru was trying to convey. Oh, and also the people who were who actually taught by the guru, they were venerated as having some special ability to understand and then explain what the guru was talking about. The people who never saw him, they would look up to these people, and so they were like the apostles. And so their word also was mixed because some of them had one interpretation, some had another. So that was a situation that they found themselves in. Now, when Jesus was walking on this planet, when he was born into a Jewish family, and even today, but certainly then, the Jews had 613 rules that they were supposed to follow. Those rules covered everything from food, whether it's kosher or not, dress, you know, what kind of material you can use, anything you can think of, they had a rule for it. And Jesus was like, and then there was the Ten Commandments that Moses had put down. So Jesus' apostles were meeting with him one day. They said, you know, got a lot of rules here. Can you give us a list, though, you know, put them in order of the most important rule, the least important rule, and all that sort of thing. And he said, all right, there are two rules. Love God with all your heart, mind, and soul, and love each other. Every other rule comes from this. Don't get caught up in all of the details. Now, if you were God and you were going to try and convey to this motley group of people who lived on this planet at that time and today, you would have to come up with a way to make it a simple rule, okay, so that everybody could understand it. There wouldn't be any dispute as to whether or not you had to have an orange cat or not. And so that was the two rules. And part of this is to make you rely on your experience and on your relationship with your brothers and sisters. So let's look at some of the sub-rules that Jesus actually talked about. He said, God is your father, and he's my father too. We're all brothers and sisters. And so therefore, we should treat each other that way, and we should try and be nice to each other, all right? So that was one of his rules. That was a pretty important one. He actually said that was kind of the gospel. Let's look at a couple other rules he had. What you do for the least of those amongst you, you do for me. So he's calling on us to serve, all right? So he wants us to actually help each other, not only because we're brothers and sisters, but just because. He said, don't hide your light under a basket. Make sure that you let it show, all right? St. Augustine said, preach constantly, use words only if necessary. He also said, be you perfect as your Father in heaven is perfect. Now he knows that's not going to happen on this planet, but that's the goal, all right? We're trying to progress into perfection. And then be still and know that I am God. So what does all this mean? So we're all children of God. We're all, oh, and listen, one thing I forgot. When he left, he said, I'm leaving my spirit with you, and each of you will have the spirit within you. So here we are. We're children of God. We've been asked to become perfect as God in heaven is perfect, knowing that that can't be done at the moment. But we are in a system of education. We are here to learn, to progress, okay? Just like our children have to learn how to walk and talk and do everything that a normal adult will do. We're in the same process. We've been asked to learn from our mistakes. We have free will, but we have within us a fragment of God, and that fragment is always encouraging us to take the higher path. To the extent we don't, you're going to get another chance to make that decision, and that chance will help you continue your path towards perfection. But you're not going to get there in this life. So there's going to be more. It's, in my perspective, you don't die and become perfect. You go on continuing your education as we traverse the universes. Be still and know that I am God. Well, so here's the thing. You just had a meditation. One thing about people who are appreciative of the Spirit is that they recognize that there are other realms. It's not just all where we are today. There are realms of spiritual entities, creatures who are here to help us. The universe is friendly to us. And when we start going on the right path, you will notice certain things happen in your life. I've met people who said, you know what? In the old days, there were miracles. There's no miracles anymore. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Miracles are happening every day. Synchronicities and other things happen in your life, which you can't explain just from coincidence. What's going on here? Well, maybe this experience is to teach you something, or maybe it's to help somebody who is involved with you in that experience to help them continue. So it's a progressive type arrangement we're in, where we're called to help people and they're going to help us and we don't even know. But if you pay attention in your life, you will see things happen which you can't explain unless there's some sort of a spiritual nudge going on here. Now you can ignore it. You can say, oh, there are no more miracles. But I tell you, there are. Every day in every life, and every one of you have experienced them, and I'll bet you everyone can stand up here and tell me a time when it happened to you. But there are times when you missed, I'm sure. So there was to show you about a little story I read. This guy posted it. I'm going to just read you some of it because it struck me that this is how the universe helps people sometimes. This guy says, I don't march in protests. I don't argue politics online. But every Monday, I do something that keeps America human. My name's Walter. I'm 74 years old. I don't have much. A pension check, a rusty old Ford, a one-bedroom walk-up that smells like radiator heat in the winter. I don't cook fancy meals, don't go golfing, don't even keep up with the news most days. It just makes my chest hurt. But every Monday morning, I do one thing that somehow has rippled further than I ever imagined. I pay for strangers' laundry. Not all of it, I'm not rich, just 1 or 2 loads at the laundromat on Main Street. It started 3 winters ago. I'd gone in to wash some old flannels. The place was half empty, the hum of machines steady like a tired heartbeat. That's when I saw her, a young, maybe 25-year-old woman with a baby on her hip. She was digging in her purse, counting the quarters, lips pressed tight. When she came up short, she bit her lip and started pulling clothes out of her basket, like she was deciding which piece of clothing could stay dirty for another week. I don't know why I did it. I just stood up. I walked over, slipped a quarter into the slot and said, "This one's on me." She froze, blinked like I'd spoken a foreign language, then whispered, "Thank you," so soft I barely heard it. That night I kept thinking about her, about how heavy the world must feel when even clean clothes are a luxury. And I thought about how many times I'd felt invisible since I retired, like the world had moved on without me. So the next Monday I went back, dropped a few quarters in the machine and taped a note on it, "Loads on me, stay warm." I didn't sign my name, didn't need to. By the 3rd week, someone had scribbled back on my note, "You saved me today. Bless you." So I kept going. Every Monday, I would bring a little bag of quarters. Sometimes I'd pay for 1 load, sometimes 2. I never waited around to see who used them. I wasn't about that. It was about the moment someone realized they weren't alone in the world. Word spread, not because of me, I kept quiet, but because people talked. One mom told another. A tired nurse on night shift posted on Facebook, "Somebody paid for my scrubs tonight, whoever you are. Keep going." The local paper called it the Laundry Angel. I hated that. I'm no angel. I'm just an old man with a pocket full of coins. Then something happened I'll never forget. I walked in one Monday and the machines already had taped notes. Different handwriting, different words. For the next one, we're in this together. I stood there holding my quarter, tears blurring my eyes so bad I could barely read. It had spread. One evening I came in late and saw a teenage boy. His hood was up, his eyes were tired, dropped 2 quarters into the washer, then walked away without putting any clothes in. I called after him, "Hey, you forgot your load." He looked back and said, "Not for me." Then he left. That's when I knew this wasn't mine anymore. It belonged to the town. Now it's every Monday across 3 laundromats. Folks bring jars of quarters. A church group leaves rolls of them taped to the machines. Even the mayor stopped by, slipped a $20 bill into the change machine and said, "I guess I'm on the Monday crew now." And me? I still show up, still take my little note, "Loads on me, stay warm." Because here's the thing. We live in a country that argues about everything. Who deserves what belongs where, who gets to be seen. But when someone pulls warm, clean clothes out of the washer that they couldn't afford 5 minutes ago, none of that matters. In that moment, they know one simple truth. Somebody cared. That's all it takes. No speeches, no politics, no endless shouting on TV. Just quarters and a quiet message taped to a machine. "I saw you. I know it's hard. I've got you." The world may stay divided, the noise may never stop, but as long as the washers keep turning on Mondays, so does hope. This, my friends, is the universe in action. This is God within, recognizing the benefits of forgetting about himself and helping others. So Relationships between brothers and sisters, all of us, have eternal significance, eternal value. Nothing else really is going with us. So it's important to recognize where your value lies. It's not in how much money you have in your bank account. It's not how many cars you have. It's how many friends you have and family and community. And therein lies the secret to our life. It's about relationships. It's about love. It's about service. So it's time to let your light shine. You don't have to tell people, I believe in A, I believe in B, I believe the cat should be orange, I believe whatever. No. You just have to shine the light. And then somebody's going to come up to you one day and say, what is it that you have? Because I want some of it.